It's that time again. Time for one of our favorite Jeep events of the year, and that's the Easter Jeep Safari. So we loaded up the Hemi JT and made that 1,100-mile trip from our home base in Silverdale, Washington, down to Moab, Utah. And we're looking forward to an epic week ahead. And we gotta say, that drive down the Utah State Route 97 is always incredible as the rocks get more and more red as we get closer to that 4x4 mecca that is Moab. We arrived in the evening with just enough time to unload the JT and head straight to the EJS Experience Get-Together, hosted by a ton of great vendors at Zach's Restaurant. It was a perfect way to kick off the week with good food and familiar faces. One of the coolest things about EJS is all the different and well-built Jeeps that show up. First thing the next morning, it was off to the Sunset Grill to set up banners for our Wednesday night takeover event, and we wanted to make sure we got the word out. We then cruised through town, checking out who had arrived and who hadn't yet. And slowly made our way out to the Hell's Revenge trailhead. Now this trail is part of the park system, so you gotta pay at the gate. But the trail is worth the $10 entry fee, and that pass is good all week in case we wanted to hit it again later. Now, if you've never been to Moab, the wheeling is excellent due to the grip of the sandstone. They call it slick rock, but it has great traction, and you can drive up obstacles so steep, it'll make you pucker. Think of driving on fine grit sandpaper. Hell's Revenge is a very established trail with years of driving marking the trail. It's hard to get lost on this one. Oh, did I mention one of the coolest things about EJS is seeing all the other Jeeps that show up? course, no trip to the Hell's Revenge Trail would be complete without crawling up the infamous and optional Hell's Gate obstacle. This is one that will test most people's pucker factor. However, if you take the right line, you're going to crawl right up it with little problem. Just as there are steep inclines, there are also steep drops, many of them with sharp runoffs that will have gladiators and wranglers dragging tail. On our way out towards the exit, we ran into the Curry and Rockjock clans who were just starting the trail, on their way out to get some pics and video of their own. We pulled alongside and spent a few minutes catching up with them and checking out the Jeeps in their group. Heading back to town, we swung by the official Jeeps booth to check for the new 2025 concept rigs. The Jeep booth was well set up with vehicle displays, accessory displays, games, and other activities. And ducks. Lots of ducks. Unfortunately, the 2025 concepts were not on display yet, though we did see a few past favorites like the 392 Scrambler Con, and the wild, low-down JL on 42s with the 392 Hemi under the hood. They also had a few new 2025 models, including a Wrangler in the new juice color. That evening ended with a Taco Tuesday put on by more great vendors out at the local Ford dealership. Yes, there were a few Broncos there, though they were vastly outnumbered by the Jeeps. Wednesday morning, it was back up the hill to Sunset Grill to hang banners and finalize everything for the takeover. Mid-afternoon found us with a little time to kill. So we took the Hemi Gladiator out to the beautiful Steelbender trail. It was the perfect spot to slow down, grab some media content, and take in the views. The first couple miles of this trail meander through sandy washes, and then it opens up for some great canyon shots. That evening was the Northridge 4x4 Sunset Grill Takeover, where we take over the Sunset Grill, a restaurant located up on the side of the canyon on the north end of town. This location offers incredible views looking out over the town and down the surrounding canyons. For the takeover, we opened up the restaurant to all the Jeep owners who showed up. We offered free food, drinks, and cool raffle prizes, and gave everyone a chance to chat up close and personal with all the awesome vendors who helped us put this event on. And we did have a fantastic turnout with more attendees than last year. Yes, it was a late night, but totally worth it. Thursday morning, we headed back to the official Jeep booth to check out the new 2025 concepts. First up was the Convoy, a Gladiator Mojave with a military-inspired soft top, soft doors, and a cool retro-style grille. It had 39s, and get this, a turquoise bed-lined interior inspired by the Cold War fighter jet cockpits. Next was a Rewind, a two-door JL packed with retro 80s flair, complete with vintage graphics, bright colors, pop culture Easter eggs, and even an old school car phone mounted inside. We also saw the BugOut, a stretched JLU reworked with a lightweight two-door long bed design, featuring a Gladiator-style drop-down tailgate, half doors, high clearance fenders, a taller roof for easier access, and even a hammock attachment set up inside for camping. Finally, there was Blueprint, a Wrangler 4xe loaded with just about every Mopar accessory available, from a 2-inch lift and steel bumpers to rock rails, snorkel, tube doors, and 37-inch tires, all custom painted in bright Mopar blue with scannable QR codes on every part. Afterwards, we swung through the vendor show out at the Spanish Trails Arena to see what was on display, to shake some hands, and to chat with vendors and attendees alike. Then we headed south of town and back out into the canyons, weaving and winding through some incredible terrain. Ending up at some caves carved into the side of a canyon wall. Where rock sports legend Shannon Campbell and his wife Jess cooked up a fantastic barbecue lunch. Yes, we had lunch in a cave in Moab. It was great food, great people, and all in a pretty unforgettable setting. We then ended the day with a classic EJS tradition, and that's an evening hangout at Grandpa's Garage. Some of the biggest names in off-road were there, and it was the perfect way to wrap up an amazing week in Moab. Then the next morning, it was time to hit that road again. And we're headed from the Red Rocks of Utah back to the green trees of the Pacific Northwest. Until next time, Mr. Jeep Safari, we gotta say thanks for the memories.